Hi there. So great result for my boys, beating your team 4-2. You predicted yesterday that you thought we would win, and your prediction came true.
Yes, it certainly did. I didn't get the score right, but I did predict the win. Yes, I felt, Chelsea were poor, were very poor last night. There's only really a couple of players for me that stood out. Arsenal had that sort of desire to win more than us, I think. I think it was one of those games where tactically, I thought Arteta changed it about 2 or 3 times throughout the game, and I think we got quite confused. And I saw that because I haven't watched the full game for a while because I've been away. And I was watching it and I was thinking, wow, there was a lot of mistakes. Actually, there's a lot of mistakes from both teams. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of passes given away, and it was a bit scrappy. But I thought at the end of the day, as I said, some of these games can come around and you lose 3 and then you win 1. And I think that's what it was last night. It was Arsenal were up for it, and some of the young kids there really performed well, kept their heads, kept focused. And unfortunately for us, the boys that came in for, let's say, our original sort of A players, if you want to say it, people like Sarr, Christian, Lukaku, they were very poor. And when you get a chance to play in those big games at this level, you need to perform, and they didn't for me. And those 3 I don't think we're going to see next season. I know that's a big shout, but yeah, that's how I feel about last night. And no excuses, we were poor, but Arsenal took their chances well. And yeah, funny selection from us, but he was resting players. I'm not sure what he was resting players for, because we've just got into the cup final. We got West Ham coming up, which I was worried about, but I'm more worried about that now. Yeah, so yeah, you must be really happy, mate. Must be really happy.
Yeah, for sure. It was exactly what we needed. We really needed a win. I was saying to you yesterday during the preview that I think a draw would have been a good result because of a bad run we've been on. Always going to play a team like yourselves at your ground, it's difficult. So a draw would have been a decent result. But for us to get all 3 points, that's amazing. It's going to help our confidence so much.
Yeah.
We got some big games coming up. We're playing Man United on Saturday, then we got West Ham after that. Then a couple of weeks later, we got Tottenham. So now we're level on points to Tottenham, just behind them on goal difference. We got a great chance. As I was saying to you yesterday, even if we lost, I thought we still had a good chance for top 4. There's a long way to go. Tottenham has some hard games still. They still got to go away to Liverpool. We got to play each other, which would be a 6-pointer. But now I think we really put ourselves in a good position. I'm very confident we'll beat Man United on Saturday. We've seen them; they've been really poor recently. So if we beat them, that'll put us 3 points ahead of Tottenham, and they'll have a game in hand, but they'll be playing after us. So that'll put some pressure on them. They're playing Brentford away. That's a difficult game. So hopefully they mess that up. So yeah, really happy, and just happy with us scoring again. We've really struggled to score recently.
Yeah.
And I was saying to you that I'm not sure about Eddie yesterday, and I was really upset when I saw the starting lineup. I was like, oh, what's he done here? He's put Eddie up front and he's left Martinelli on the bench. And people I was speaking to before the game were all saying the same thing. What's he done, But he was spot on. All credit to him. He got the tactics right, pressed you high, put a lot of pressure, and we got very important goals. Eddie, if that was Lacazette, that first goal was not happening because he's slow, as you know. But Eddie had the pace, that once you made that mistake, he managed to keep away from the defender and put it away. Great finish. And Saka as well, outstanding all match. He's been a bit poor recently. He's, from the high levels that he's set. The whole team in general has been quite poor in the last few games, but I expect a lot more from him. But he picked it up today, yesterday, he showed what he's all about. Always a threat going forwards. What did you think about the penalty?
I think it's harsh. If I'm being honest, I mean, Aspilicueta was in. I think they've only given it because he's in the wrong position. He got himself all confused. I think they were both holding each other. But I think if you're holding each other like that and you're the centre forward and you're defender, if you go down, I think you're going to get a pen. Either way. And Saka was very clever, in the way that he did it. And yeah, I think it was harsh, not because of, because I'm, obviously Chelsea supporter. I just think it was a bit harsh, that one. But I think the game, I felt the last 15, 20 minutes when it was 3-2, I didn't think we were going to score. I just had that feeling that, it wasn't going to happen. And, when you get that feeling where you just keep on trying and you were sitting back and waiting for another counter, I just think it wasn't going to happen. We just haven't, for some reason, it's just one of those games you just don't feel. And yeah, I mean, Eddie, I was really pleased for the young kid because he used to play for Chelsea. He got released when he was 14, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And it's sort of written in the headlines for him, one of these games, 4 goals, he's got 2, he's come back to his old club, and there you go. It's like I said to one of my friends this morning. I said, your next 2 games now, you've got to go. This is the inconsistency with Arsenal that I feel that you just lack that inconsistency. Now you've got, Eddie can give you a 9 out of 10, but then he'll give you like a 2 out of 10 or 3. He's a bit like one of those players.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
But yeah, no, for sure. He's very up and down.
He needs to be more consistent. And also, I was quite surprised about Martinelli. He sort of done a bit of a Smith Rowe with Martinelli last night. He brought Martinelli on late. Smith Rowe played the whole game. I thought he was very good last night as well.
For sure, yeah, he was brilliant.
Yeah, he was. The ball was sticking to his feet. He was moving into spaces. So I thought Eddie he did really well, and I'm hoping now for Arsenal to go forward now in the next 2 games, because they're not going to be easy. And listen, we've got to keep focused, Chelsea, because when you look at it, I looked at the table this morning. If we don't win our next 2 games, really, I know we got a game in hand, we could be struggling. It could turn around where there could be an awful feeling or sickening feeling of we could get 5th or 6th.
That would be great.
Man, could you imagine that? I mean, it'd just be like the way this season's gone and the crazy turnarounds and the stuff, what I said yesterday about you never know what's going to happen. It could be just a sickening feeling of that as well, which I know some of my Chelsea supporters, God knows, my God, they're going to be. I mean, they're raging from last night. I'm not raging. I'm just disappointed I just had a feeling that we were going to, slip up somewhere or do something. And I always think Arsenal are one of our sort of bogey teams anyway. And I'm glad for Arsenal because they perform really well. It's now going to be, you've got to go to Man U. You've got to go to, no, it's at your ground, isn't it? That's handy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, what's your prediction for our match against Man United?
Do you know what? It's another one of those ones, isn't it? It's the ones where you think, can Arsenal be consistent? Can they go there? Can they? Or are Man United all of a sudden going to turn up and all their players are going to perform? Your Rashfords, your Sanchos, and Maguire's going to have the best game of the season. And I don't know, mate. I'm looking probably. I think I was going to go for a draw, but I'm going to go with 1-1.
Okay. And what about the top four picture now? Who do you think will finish in the top four?
Well, it's now changed again. It changed weekly, doesn't it? No one really can predict it. It changes weekly. Arsenal are in the seat now after a victory against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's happy. Everybody's buzzing. You needed that. Tottenham are a little bit down because, you know, they lost. Man United are obviously really down. And West Ham are concentrating on Europa League and will probably... So you're in the driving seat, you guys, now. And I know there's games in hand, but you know what? The games in hand, I'm not really, you know, it doesn't really bother me with games in hand. Anything can happen with, you know, with any match. So I think it's Arsenal in the driving seat at the moment. And for me, for my team, Chelsea, we've just got to watch our backs, basically, at the moment. Because last night, for me, if I'm being honest, I had a conversation with a Liverpool supporter yesterday. I said that we are not similar. Well, we're similar to to Man City and Liverpool, but tonight showed me that we are quite a way behind. Just in the way that we need to perform, and not so much our squad, but just the mentality of some of our players, and we lack some of the squad depth where they need to turn up in those big games. And I think certain players like Christian, Sarr, Lukaku, I think their minds are elsewhere now. I think Christian wants to go to Barcelona. Sarr doesn't really want to be there, I don't think. And I think Lukaku's just really underperformed this season. So that's disappointing for me. But yeah, and I think Tuchel got it wrong last night with his tactics, very much so. I think Arteta got one over on him, so he should be well pleased with himself.
Yeah, no, for sure. Got to credit Arteta yesterday. Tactics were spot on.
I think there's going to be more twists and turns. Definitely, there's going to be some more ups and downs. I'm just hoping now that I'm a bit worried about. I am worried about Mendy, our keeper. There's something wrong there. There's something not right in what's going on with him. I don't know what it is. He normally would make big saves. You know, your big keepers like, you know, Man City's, Liverpool keepers, they make those big saves when your team's not playing well. And he could have made some big saves there last night. And he wasn't really there for us. And he hasn't been there for us for a while. So I don't know what's going on with him. But he hasn't been right since he came back from the international break for me. So that's a concern as well. Goalkeeper's always a concern. I mean, Ramsdale, for you, should have saved one of Chelsea's shots. I don't know what he was doing there. He's been a bit iffy as well.
It was a bit difficult the first one because of a deflection. You know, he could have done better maybe, but the deflection really caught him off guard. But in general, you know, he's been good for us this season. Like, we've really been crying out for a very secure goalkeeper who makes few mistakes, who's very good with his feet. You know, the way Arteta wants to play. You know, Leonard's a good keeper, but he's not really good with his feet, and he was prone to making mistakes.
Yeah,
quite often. Whereas Ramsdale, he's been amazing. He's made very few mistakes all season, and he suits the style of play that Arteta wants to play. So, yeah, we're very happy with him. And as you were saying now, if you look at the way Man City and Liverpool are, you're saying you feel you guys have got a lot of work to catch them up. Obviously, same with us. That's the target. We've got to just hope to close the gap to them. And it's going to be interesting to see how the summer transfer window goes and how the next couple of seasons go, because we both got a long way to go to catch them up.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard for Chelsea to say. It's difficult for us, and a lot of the supporters won't agree with you there with that, because they think, because, you know, when that season, you know, even you got close to City in the Prem. You know, it wasn't like they took you lot apart or took us apart. That 2-2 at Anfield, you know, I think we played Liverpool 4 times now. And, you know, we got them in the FA Cup final. And I think it's just the mentality of some of the players, you know, the quality's there. It's just, I think Chelsea just need a couple of players. I think Arsenal, as we said yesterday, need about 4 or 5. But
Yeah.
what I'm worried about is that we're going to lose. I think our defence is my worry now because it's aging. Thiago Silva hasn't got very long. Rudiger looks like he might be leaving. Azpilicueta last night was very poor for the first time, really. I've seen him do that in a game, really. That's probably one of the worst games I've seen Azpilicueta play. And, you know, you're going to get the odd bad game from one of these world-class players. But, yes, when you look at Liverpool and City, yes, we probably are miles. I wouldn't say miles and miles behind, but I just think that Liverpool and City have got that desire, that passion to win stuff at the moment, especially Liverpool. Every single one of the team, even the subs. You know, I heard someone commenting the other day, it was like Klopp was having a pop at Van Dijk or something like that. You know, they were like 2-0 up. He was screaming at him, and apparently it was something very minor. But this is the passion that, you know, Robertson was having a go at Van Dijk for making the mistake. I mean, if that was me, I'd be scared to have a go at Van Dijk. I mean, I'm not having a go at him, you know, but you know what I mean? That's the winning mentality to someone like Liverpool. I don't see that sometimes with Chelsea last night. I'd be screaming at someone like Lukaku. He just doesn't do that second goal for me when it came from the back, where I think it was Odegaard that nutmegged Alonso or
Xhaka.
whoever it was. Xhaka back, yeah. And Lukaku he's the most physical player. He was just, use your body, push him out of the way. Have some urgency to get that ball back. He just literally just didn't want to know. And when you see those things, you just think, oh, you know, when a player's not happy or something's going on. And that's the only thing that annoys me when you've got players without any passion and desire and want to win a game, and a top derby game as well. Yeah, so yeah, the Man City and the Liverpool thing is always. I just hope we can beat them in the FA Cup final so they don't win the quadruple. Can't handle that, buddy. I can't handle the Liverpool supporters.